Let's review how to crochet a teddy bear keychain. If you want to follow along with the video, there's a timestamp pattern in the description below, and you can start to gather the materials. To make the pattern, you're going to need some brown yarn. I used a 4.25mm crochet hook. You want two 6mm safety eyes and one 6mm safety nose. Some fiber fill to fill the head, and an embroidery needle because you're going to use it to sew on the snout, the ears, and sew the head together. The snout, ears, and head begin with the magic ring. I'll go through a little more detail with the magic ring while doing the snout. To work the magic ring, you can lay your tail end over your non-dominant hand, and we are going to cross the working end up and over and across the tail end. So it makes an X. You then can grab your hook, and you're going to go underneath the strand, the upper right strand, and capture the upper left strand, pulling it under and twisting. Once you've twisted, you can chain one, thus securing the magic ring. For the snout pattern, we're going to do 6 single crochets in the magic ring. So as we single crochet, we'll make sure to capture both the tail and the loop. As we do the magic ring, if you've captured both the tail and the loop, you can pull on the tail, and that'll make the center of your circle small. And to finish the snout, we are going to slip stitch into the top of the first single crochet. And once I've done my slip stitch, I'm going to leave a long tail . And fasten off by pulling the tail through. And I'll put the snout away until I'm ready to fasten it to the head. The ears are worked similarly to the snout. So we're going to start with a magic ring. And for the ears, I only need to do 4 single crochets in the magic ring. I'm going to start to pull my tail end to make the loop smaller. And before I cinch it all the way, I'm going to cut my yarn, leaving a long tail. I'm going to pull my tail end through, and to prevent this strand from becoming loosened, I'm going to insert my tail into the loop. And then I will continue to pull the tail end so that final strand is captured, and I have 2 tails for sewing. So you can make 2 ears and then put them off to the side until we're ready to sew them onto the head. The start of the head begins the same pattern as the snout. So let's make a magic ring. And do 6 single crochets into the magic ring. Then we'll pull the tail tight. And begin round 2. Round 2 calls to do 2 single crochets in each stitch around. I'm going to do 1 single crochet and mark my first stitch with a stitch marker. This way I will know when I'm back where I began. To do 2 double crochet or 2 single crochets in each stitch, so once you do 1 single crochet in a stitch, you're going to do a second one in the same stitch. All the way around. Gone back to my stitch marker. So at this point I should have 12 single crochets in my pattern. And I'll do round 3. I'll remove the stitch marker for the first stitch. I'm going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Mark the beginning of round 3. Two single crochets in the next stitch. And I will repeat from the asterisk around. 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and I will do 2 single crochets in the next stitch. And repeat from the asterisk the repeat pattern for round 3. 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochets in the next stitch. Repeating 4 more times around. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. One, 2. 1, 2. Once more to bring us back to the stitch marker. In round 3, we repeated 3 stitches, 1 single crochet, then 2 single crochets. So at the end of round 3, you should have 18 stitches. And now you can work through rounds 4 through 9, doing 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Once you finish crocheting round 9, you can pause, grab your sewing tools, because we will work to attach the features onto the head while we have access to the inside. Let's attach the safety eyes between rounds 4 and 5. So you can start counting from the magic ring, and you have between rounds 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, and 4 and 5. And between 4 and 5, you can attach the first eye anywhere. And once you insert the safety eye, you can secure it on the back. And we want to put 5 stitches in between the eyes. So you want to count on the same round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'll insert my eye between the next 2 stitches, again between rounds 4 and 5. And I'll secure my safety eyes in the middle. Now to attach the nose and snout to the bear, let's insert the nose into the center of the snout, and then we're going to attach the nose between round 6 and 7 and centered between the eyes. So remember, we had 5 single crochets between the eyes. 2, 3, 4, 5. So to make them centered between the eyes, we're going to put 2 on both sides. And then we have between rounds 4 and 5, 5 and 6, and 6 and 7. So I'm going to insert my nose where I've counted. I'll center the nose. And secure it. Once you've secured the nose and snout to the face, you'll want to sew along that border of the snout to make it snug against the face. So you can go and capture both strands of the single crochets. And sew around the nose to make it secure. Lastly, we are going to secure the ears onto the head. So the ears are going to sit 2 single crochets behind the eyes, as you can see with this one, and it'll span between rounds 5 and round 2. To prepare to attach the ears onto the head, you can figure out which side you want to be the front of the ear, and you want to thread one of the tails and begin to weave the tail so it's on one end of the arc. I've done that with the other one too. So we have our strands of yarn on the 2 ends of our ears, and then we're going to count 2 single crochets back. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, and that's where I will insert the bottom of my ear. It'll turn my ears so they are oriented towards the face, and I've put my yarn between rounds 5 and 4 previously, so I'll go into the next one, capture the center of the ear, and then go into the other end of the ear, and then I'll go between rounds 3 and 2. So I go one way, and then I make the ears so they look how I want them to look. And then to secure the ear, I go back to the center, pulling taut each time, manipulating the ear so it looks like I want it to look like. So go ahead and secure both ears onto the face. Once you finish sewing the features onto the face, we are going to do 1 decrease round before we fill the head. So I'm going to grab my stitch marker again and put it in the last stitch so I know when my round is complete. Now our pattern for the decrease round, round 10, is 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochets together. So you'll insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. And with 3 loops on your hook, you'll yarn over and pull through all. 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochets together. You repeat that pattern a total of 6 times, so 1 single crochet, single crochet, 2 together. So that essentially brings 2 stitches into 1 stitch. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets together. One single crochet, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through all 3. So I know from my stitch marker that I have one more time to repeat from the asterisk. So I do a single crochet, 2 single crochets together. And before I complete my final round, round 11, I'm going to grab some fiber fill to fill the head. And we can move on to our final round. Again, before beginning the round, I'm going to mark my final stitch of the last round so I know when to end. And now for round 11, we are going to repeat single crochet 2 together around. Again, a single crochet 2 together, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all. You're going to repeat that around till you get back to your stitch marker, or doing it 6 times. I see now that my stitch marker is 2 stitches away, so I know I have that pattern one more time. I'll remove my stitch marker and finish round 11. And then I'm going to do a slip stitch in the next stitch. I'll thread my needle, and we'll want to sew the center tight. So you can weave your tail along the top part of your single crochets from your final round and pull the center tight. And I like to take a few strands across. Once the bottom of the head is drawn tight, I am going to turn this into a keychain and also work to flatten the head. So I'm going to take my yarn back up to the top through the bear's head, up through the center where I began, the foundation ring. And then at this point, I'm going to decide how big I want the loop to be. And then I'm going to take my yarn back through the center and into and between rounds 1 and 2. Again, deciding how big you want the lanyard to be. And then at that point you can weave your tail between rounds 1 and 2. Again, along the stitch line. take it between, or back through the center, and let's take it back to the bottom. And we'll do the same. I'm running out of tail, so I'm going to weave it through once more. You should have left a long enough tail that you can weave some on the top of the bear, some on the bottom of the bear. So I can just take my scissors, I'll cut the final strand, and then we'll take a look at the bear. Now you can see that once you've woven the tail end through, that your keychain is secure, and you can go ahead and attach it to your keys. Thanks for joining.